bit of an update on how things are going. So this week we have managed to mainly concentrate on getting the house ready to put on the market. As previously mentioned in the last vlog, one of the main things on the list was to get the dining room redecorated, which was an absolute mess and has probably had the most wear and tear, purely because it's been used as a dumping ground for so many different reasons. It's used as an office for me at the moment. You know, the maidens in here drying clothes if the weather's bad, which is not too bad at the minute because the weather's been okay, but it does get used for that as well when the weather's not great. Work deliveries come in here sometimes, depending on what we're getting delivered. Most things get delivered to site, well obviously sometimes stuff gets delivered here, so things like that. So the walls have taken a bit of a battering over the last few years, and it's not been decorated in a while. Actually 8 years thinking about it. So yeah, it really needed a good freshening up. So I'll show you midway through and finishing of that. We've also done the front and the back garden, repainted all the fencing at the back, and just put a few plants in just to give it some colour and make it look more presentable. Changed all the solar lights. They're the same ones, but they were absolutely, they were broke. So they've been up all over the winter and water's got in and they were broke anyway. So just replaced them like for like. They were only cheap ones anyway, but it just looks a lot more fresher and stuff like that. And then at the front, painted all the rendered walls. They were looking really dirty, as you'll see in one of the clips in a minute. So that all need freshening up. The plants in the front garden are all ones that grow through every year anyway, so it was just a matter of keeping on top of those, and I've just added a few more again for colour in the baskets and stuff like that. It just needed tidying up and looking more presentable. So yeah, so that's what we've been doing, just keeping on top of things like that really. Another thing that needed doing was Alex's room. The doorway needed filling and painting, and as we changed the doors last year throughout the house, and Alex's frame needed adjusting, so bits on that needed filling and painting, and then the chimney breast, I think we'd had a bit of water come through the chimney at some point, which has been repaired, but the stain we couldn't get rid of it. It seemed to stay for some reason, so we had to stain block that. Well, I had to stain block that, and then obviously give that a couple of coats to make sure it didn't come through, and then give it another couple of coats of the actual paint colour for the room. So that's another thing that we've ticked off this past week. We've done quite well really, using up quite a bit of the paint from the garage. So it's not as if we've had to buy loads of paint and supplies and stuff. We already had them in the garage, so we've used up quite a bit of that kind of stuff. What else have we done this week? Sold a few more bits and pieces, clothes, nothing major, just clothes that some of them were new things that we had tags on, but you couldn't return them anymore. I had a pair of Crocs that I will never wear. You do that, you buy stuff and then you think you're gonna wear it and you don't. Never even think I wore them once. So they've gone. Izzy grown out of trainers, so sold them as well. So all bits and pieces like that really, which, you know, they're only small, but they all just mount up. We just let it build up. Like I said in the last video, we do it quite regularly, let it build up, and then just obviously put it in our pot. We've got more stuff to sell this week. We've got a treadmill. Chris is going to sell all his weights. Yeah, just keep ticking things off like that. We've all started going to the gym, so stuff like that in the house is no longer going to be needed. So we're going to concentrate on getting those sold this week. I've obviously put them up to sell, but that'll probably be in next week's vlog now, so you'll see that eventually. What else have we been doing over the last couple of weeks? Yeah, I think that's it. Pretty much just house stuff, getting rid of a few bits, tidying up the garden, just constantly throwing things away we don't need, bits and pieces. But yeah, it's mainly been decorating, but it's looking a lot better now, looking a lot more tidier, fresh. But I'll show you all that now. So I'll just show you a little bit about what we've been doing this week. The shelves, I've had another coat of paint, so I think that's 3 in total. I did do 2, but kind of thought that 2 wasn't enough, so I did another coat. And we've changed the green slightly. I think it was called Tranquil Fawn. It was originally like an olive green colour, but I thought it looked better with the like beige Egyptian. Is it called Egyptian? Egyptian cotton. Egyptian cotton. It's called cotton, if I say that properly. Egyptian cotton and Tranquil Fawn. Yeah, so Chris didn't like the green when I originally picked it and said that the old one would have been better. But after we'd painted it and dried it, he agreed with me. So 1-0 to me. And then, so the rest of the walls are all the Egyptian cotton. And I think that green goes nicer with the light fitting as well. The light fitting we already had, so that's original, so that's staying. We're not changing that. So we've done all the woodwork. Repainted the radiator, because the radiator's fine, but it was a bit yellow. I don't know why. And nobody smokes in this house, but it was yellow. So ignore the dodgy towel while I was painting the radiator. So I've filled and, well, no, I've not sanded. I've filled the windowsill. So I'm just sanding that back now, and then I'm going to coat that. And then the floor needs a major clean, because even though we've put dust sheets down, there's just dust everywhere from all the sanding. And then I need to put my pictures back up on the wall. So just obviously ignore the mess, because it is a bit all over the shop. And my clock needs to go back up. So maybe do a reel once it's clean, tidy, and then put all the decor back up. So watch this space. It's now finished. Everything's been painted, freshened up. Pictures are back on the wall. Floor's been cleaned within an inch of its life, because it was absolutely filthy. And I made the massive mistake yesterday of leaving a tin of paint with the lid off and knocked it all over the floor. Big boo-boo, but I managed to clean it up. So I'm just going to finish off now by putting the clock back on the wall, putting the decor back on the shelves, and then it should all be done. All been painted now. Just needs a bit of filling there, but Chris will do that when he goes around literally everything in corks. But makes that doorway look a lot neater. Just on the selling front, not really sold much this week. An Under Armour hat, a t-shirt Chris's which I can't show you because I've already packed it up. and a pair of Crocs, because I did buy them but I don't wear them, so everything that's not being worn, as I said, is being sold, and it all just adds to the pot. So we just keep the pot running, and then after so much we just transfer it to our savings and we keep totting it up. So out here we've just repainted all the fencing, the flower bed, pergola seat, obviously put all fresh flowers in just to make it look a bit more attractive, and just painted all the fencing all the way around. It was white anyway, but it just needed freshening up because it was a bit rough and redder from the winter. Put new solar lights on because they were the same from before, but they were broken, all the weather had got in and stuff like that. So yeah, looks all fresh and new. Another thing we'll be doing to just get everything ready for selling is clearing up the front garden. So the front path is going to need a clean. We're going to repaint the walls, the white walls, because as you can see they're looking a bit shabby. Just give it a good brush down. It doesn't look too bad, it just needs tidying up. All the plants are growing nice, so and the baskets are going nice, but as you can see, particularly from the front, it just gets hammered with dirt off the main road. So I'm going to give that a paint this weekend, hopefully, if the weather's good enough, and get that all painted up, and then it'll be another job done. So the front's all painted now, it's all looking fresh. Done all underneath the steps, the wall at the side. Obviously plants you've already seen, they were already in. A lot of them are what I've grown back every year everywhere anyway, but they've grown quite a bit over the last few weeks. It looks a lot fuller now, and I've painted underneath the wall, so yeah, it just looks a lot more cleaner, presentable. So yeah, another job done off the list. So yeah, that's what we've been up to for now. Still waiting on the visa interview at the embassy at the moment. Can feel a bit deflating sometimes, all this waiting, but we've had instances of it before where we just have to keep going. It's a long process, which we knew anyway. And there's always these kind of instances where things go quiet and you just have to be patient. Unfortunately, it's just one of those things. The house should hopefully now go on the market pretty soon. We've got arrangements in place for photos with the estate agent, so fingers crossed all that goes well, but I'll keep you posted as we go along. Thanks to everyone for watching so far and for tuning in for today's vlog. Please don't forget to give us a like, share and subscribe, and it really helps the channel, and it helps people who want to find out more about the process and the journey that we're making. So if you can do that, that would be really grateful. Hope everyone has a great week, and I will see you all soon.